The Iowa Hawkeye women. Why is my picture not full screen? Here we go. Iowa Hawkeye women, 74. The Oregon Ducks, 66. We're joined by Hawkeye great Kachine Alexander on this beautiful Thursday evening. Kachine, welcome.
Good evening.
How are you?
That game it wasn't 11 p.m., but
that game went fast. You can't really complain. You can't really complain when we finished like 15 minutes early.
It's 11 o'clock.
It's 9:59 in Hawkeyeville.
Anyway.
Yes, it is. It is late on the East Coast. We are here to talk Hawkeye women's hoops. And a solid victory at home. I can hear my echo. Please, caller, turn down your phone line or your computer or your TV, whatever you listen on, please. All right, we're going to come back to you. We'll get them. We'll get them back here in a few minutes. Folks, if you want to call the show, the number is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. It's 515-635-1601, 515-635-1601. And, yeah, I'm asking a lot of people for some help this evening because we need likes. We need people to hit the thumbs up button. It's very simple, and it helps the show, especially when people are watching the next day. There's plenty of people, I'm sure, that are not watching us live tonight because they got to get to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of those people. She's up she's a late nighter. So we appreciate that. We got 400 people watching on YouTube. We got some people over on Twitter as well. Ringo in the chat early says, play Addie Deal a ton of minutes. Addie Deal is our, from the Hawkeye of the Storm, player of the game with 18 points, 7 of 9 from the field. She was perfect from outside, 4 of 4 from behind the three-point arc, also added 3 rebounds in only 20 minutes of play. Kachine, let's get your thoughts, first of all, opening things up with the true freshman who maybe finally looked like the 5-star that Hawkeye fans have been waiting for tonight.
Yeah, I will second your player of the game. I think Addie was definitely a bright spot. I think that's always good for a freshman to kind of get out there and see the ball go through the net. I honestly feel like I think the announcer said it really well in regards to she wasn't forcing anything. She just allowed the defense to give her what they gave her, whether it was an open three, whether it was a pull-up. She just was letting the game come to her. And I think that's always beneficial for any freshman because is definitely needed. If you start to rush things, you can kind of get into some hairy situations. Let's say that. But overall, I thought that she played really well. You're going to have games like that with freshmen. You're going to have a game, and I'm going to warn you now, Hawkeye fans, do not be all upset if she does not have great games. She's going to go like this. That's just what it is. She's going to go up. She's going to tip. She's going to go up. She's going to tip. That's just what is normal, okay, expectation-wise. I'm just happy that she still has had a game like this because it's been a while since the last one where she had, I believe, 17, I think it was. But at the same point in time, I think Coach Jay played her well in regards to as soon as you start to feel like she's playing well, you got to keep playing her in that aspect. So kudos to Coach Jay to continue to ride her in that aspect.
She's our player of the game, and as we were talking, I just was pulling up her game log because you mentioned she's had solid performances thus far this year, but I just wanted to compare point production because it's been very rare that she's been in double figures. And as I look at her point totals right now, this is number 4 on her career. Her 17-point performance came against Western Illinois. She had a 13-point performance against Penn State. So this by far is her best performance, without question. She was really good against Penn State, but this was by far her best performance. Again, 18 points, 7 of 9 from the field, 4 of 4 from 3. And she didn't force anything. And that's what she was doing early in the year, back in November. She was just trying to do too much. I think she learned to slow it down a little bit right away. Actually, I don't think she took that long to learn that. The difference is, how do you balance that with aggression, Kachine? And I know you were not, you earned your marks in the defensive end, especially early. But what is the key for a freshman, especially a guard, a ball handling guard, a lot of acclaim, and I don't know that you'd call her ball dominant, but when you're a scoring point, you need the ball in your hands a lot. And I'm just curious, as a freshman, how do you strike that balance? And if you're a coaching staff, how do you help someone like Addie Deal strike the balance? What's that process been like, do you think?
Yeah, I think for her, again, it's as a freshman and based off of how slow she started, she's not a scoring guard, right? In this, what we currently have. So for her, it was really just understanding that take the pressure off of you and let the game come to you. Whether that is taking open shots when you have them, be ready to shoot. If you see a lane, you can take that lane. But I do think, remember how we talked about the game is a lot faster? I do think that I've seen strides with her in general of like her starting to figure it out a little bit. She's a little bit, she's never going to be faster. Make sure I say that. I figured that out already. But she is very crafty with her pace, is the word I would say. And I think that's what needed to translate to the college game. I don't think it's going to be an overnight success now. Okay. But I do think that that's where her biggest transition is going to come and is coming in that aspect. But honestly, just let the game come to you. Take the 5-star pressure off of you. Take all of that off of you. At this point, you have more than halfway off your freshman year. Just play basketball at this point.
What did you think of Oregon tonight overall?
I felt like Oregon took a lot of bad shots, personally. Why are you shooting that? They would give up a good shot to then take a bad shot. It was like, and I know Kelly Graves very well. That's not a typical Kelly Graves team. So that's very interesting. And I do think that his team has had a lot of up and downs, like where they played really, really good against some really good competition. And in other games, it's like, what are we doing? So I'm sure he's dealing with identity crisis over there in the sense of he has no idea which team is going to show up.
Yeah, and they missed some. I thought they missed shots early.
Yeah,
both teams were missing all kinds of shots early, and thankfully it was Iowa that got rhythm and got moving there down the stretch. I did not think Oregon, credit to Iowa, they were really good tonight in a lot of different areas, and I thought the last 3 quarters, especially those middle 2 quarters, right, second and third, were really good. Although Oregon made a push late in the first half, late second quarter, that got them kind of back in the game. In fact, Big Grove's big play of the day was Hannah Stuelke's rebound, which turned into a Journey Houston field goal toward the end of that first half with under 10 seconds to go. put Iowa back up 5 because Oregon had made a push. That is Big Row's big play of the day. So you're going to have game of runs. That's basketball. But I thought Iowa's 2 quarters there, sandwich in between the start and the finish, were really solid. And this was sort of one of those games, reminded me a little bit, although they only scored 74, reminded me a little bit of the Washington game. Was it last year, Kachine? Out there in Seattle where Iowa couldn't miss. It felt like there were a lot of shots going tonight. Now, they didn't score 80, 90 plus, but it felt like there were a lot of shots tonight that we cannot, as Iowa people, count on going in, night out. Like, Addie Deal's not going to go 4 of 4 most nights from 3, even if they are open. Hannah Stuelke's not going to be making lots of mid-range shots. It was nice to see her hit a mid-range shot or two, a shot from the free throw line, a shot from beyond. Hannah actually had a nice spin move or two where she scored in different ways. But the sample size tells us not to expect that. But it did feel like Iowa offensively, once they got shots to fall, that early lull, which Iowa seems to go through a lot at the start of games, shots were falling, and it helps being at home. Is that fair?
Absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. At home is usually where you gain any confidence back if you ever lost it. And it's where you're just comfortable. You sleep in your own bed. You have your normal routine. It's just familiar. It's nothing like home.
Iowa defeating Oregon 74-66. We're here for the next, well, we'll see. We got some people here. I'll tell you what, this is cool. We got 650 people watching on YouTube.
And how many likes do we have? Because I know.
Yes. Hey, have you
liked?
It takes
2 seconds, guys. It's like a little button. Just.
Yep, it does. It takes 2 seconds. And if you're watching this late, what else do you have to do than to sit back, make sure you hit the like button, and
something you don't have to pay for.
We got that's right, 255 likes right now. So that's not enough. But we appreciate everybody who has liked. But we're approaching 700 concurrent viewers on YouTube. Let's go to our phone line because we got people piled in already. Thank you for calling game with Kachine Alexander. Who's on the line? Hello, you're on the air.
This message has been transcribed.
Okay.
One moment while I know.
With Kachine Alexander.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, it's John, North Kachine.
Hey, John. How are you?
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Kind of nice having that stretch 4 out there tonight, wasn't it? Well, Hannah knocking them down.
All right, let's address it because I mentioned it briefly, Kachine, but does this move the bar at all? Does seeing a couple of those mid-range shots move the bar for a player that really doesn't even attempt shots from outside the paint typically?
No. I mean, okay. Let's go back.
Come on, Kachine.
Hold on. As I said, hold on. Let's go back. You don't just overnight decide you're going to be a confident shooter. That's not happening. Now, mind you, one of the jump shots she took, she didn't have a choice. The shot clock was running down.
Yep, but she made it.
Okay.
She made it.
She did, and I love that for her. Period. Hannah played very, very well. It's kind of a shame that Addie played so well because it kind of overshadowed Hannah in a way, but Hannah played very well. I think she started off, I keep talking about her emotion behind how she plays and how it drives everything that she does. So I think her emotion was really high today in a good way, not like too high, but in a good way. And I think that kind of propelled her. Call it what you want. I don't really care what forced her to shoot the shot. I'm just happy she shot it. And I'm happy she saw it go through. Does that change? No. I'm just happy she had a good game.
Yeah,
it's got to be consistent
with Hannah. It's just mindset with Hannah.
That yes,
because she doesn't have that I'm the scorer on this team mentality. She has the pass first mentality when she's out there. But as long as she can just realize that if she's open and they're not out there guarding her, take the dang shot and let's see what happens. You know what I mean? All you can do is miss.
Yeah.
I've said this for several weeks now, that it's interesting because Hannah's shot is, I mean, you tell me, Kachine, you played high-level basketball. I did not, but I know enough about the game and played enough to know what a good shot looks like versus a bad shot. Hannah has a good-looking jump shot. Compared to Ava Hayden, it's really good-looking. Ava takes all kinds of mid-range shots. which is interesting. But I agree with what John said, because it's like, well, it's clear that Hannah just lacks confidence, because Ava just doesn't seem to care. Like, if she's open, she's going to take it. She's going to miss probably 2 of 3, but every once in a while she'll make one. And I'm not saying I love her taking those shots, but you do like that confidence, especially when teams are not respecting even the mid-range.
Yeah, that's it. You got to take them when you're open like that. You just got to take them.
Ava's not even open. Let's call it what it is. She ain't even really that open.
Yeah.
She still shooting it.
Ava thinks she's Caitlin Clark sometimes, but
Jesus. Anywho,
we'll settle for a few of them bad shots because she does good work on the paint. So
yeah,
I'm happy with that.
By the way,
what about
by the
Addie
way,
Deal?
real quick, hey John, Mike in the chat says to Kachine that he doesn't want her to crap on Kylie Feuerbach tonight. And I saw some yahoo in the chat make some comment about us being critical of. You're going to be.
I have not brought up Kylie's name in months.
But somebody, you're going to be critical of Addie Deal. I knew. By the way, I mentioned to the buddies I was watching the game with tonight. I said I'm going to get ripped tonight because Addie's having a good game.
Good for her.
No, I know.
I mean,
I know.
It's one game, guys.
Yeah. Kachine, I'm just saying.
For her, and I mean that genuinely. But you have to put a string of things together for it to be anything.
You're not having to tell me. I'm just telling you this is human behavior for the people that
watch
this show.
I think what we can all agree upon is that Addie Deal looks 20 times better than she did at the beginning of the year.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
That's kind of all you can ask for.
Yep, 100%, John.
Her mind and her feet are catching up to each other a little bit. She ain't there yet. We all know that, but you can see where she can go if she keeps on accelerating her pace like she is.
Yeah. No, absolutely. She needs a couple more of these her freshman year.
Sure. Yep.
Needs a couple more. That will propel her into an off season of development and strength and conditioning, everything that comes with that transition from year 1 to year 2.
That's right. But other than that, heck, good game. I mean, it seemed to flow good. Everything, they seemed smoother. Their passing was crisper. They didn't hold on to the ball too long. They seemed to roll pretty good tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Not much to complain about. I don't think Oregon played particularly well, but it doesn't matter. Oregon is a decent Big Ten team. You know, they're middle of the pack in most statistical categories. They were just below 500 in the league heading into the game. They have a really good overall record. They've won some games this year, so there's not much to complain about. This is protecting home court, and the game was never really in doubt. So
that's right. Yep. The last little bit, the girls kind of got full of themselves and let them, score a few points. But
gotta finish better. And John, I'll leave you after I ask Kachine this question. But Kachine, what's the key there? Because I did have somebody text me. I'll just read you the text because I want to make sure. I'm not going to name the guy, but one of our regular listeners who I happen to know outside of the show, he says, you better call out that ugly finish. So I'm like, what? I said back, what are you talking about? You want me to go on here and rant about the finish? Like, okay, he wants me to address it. Let's address it. They did not finish particularly strong. Oregon cut the lead to single digits. Is it hard to coach in a situation like that where you're trying to finish a game and you're up double figures?
You got random people in. Nobody cares at that point, honestly speaking. It's the end of the game.
But you do have to coach. You do have to figure out a way to help your girls.
But Yes. Now, don't get me wrong. Coach Jay was fired up and called a timeout for no reason other than to yell at the team.
Well, she wasn't happy with how they were closing.
No. They were supposed to be in a switching out of bounds, and they did not switch. And the post player got pretty much a wide open layup, pretty much. In the middle of the paint, and she called a timeout just to yell at them. And I was like, "You go, Coach Jay," because at the end of the day, you should still be executing. Let's not get crazy. But at the same point in time, it's not enough for me to come on here and whatever about. I don't care that much. Now the coaches, they got to care, but I don't care that much. I'm talking about the win.
John, we appreciate you calling in, sir. We always enjoy it, and we're glad.
No problem, guys.
We're glad. We're happy the call is being transcribed, so you can read it back later.
Yeah, I don't know how it does that. I'm lucky I can actually get on a phone and talk to someone.
There you go. Hey, we're happy to talk to you. Thank you for being
All
here,
right,
sir.
you all have a good night and go
All right.
Hawks.
You take care. Yep, go Hawks. All right. We are continuing here before. Wow, lots of people. Don't nitpick on Hannah. People just wait for players to play well, and they're like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you, Cash.
And then they'll be back to being pissed off when she
I
doesn't.
know. You said something critical.
I don't ride. This isn't me. I don't go like this. I don't go like this with the players. Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. And you talk.
I'm not saying when I say it's one game, I'm not saying it because it's no big deal that they played well. No, it is a big deal that they played well. However, I'm not going to say that all is well and we're in this, that, and the third. No, because when I remember the same conversation everybody was having when Addie Deal had her 17 points. Oh my God, this is the break in the ice. And this is and then what happened?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
The name of the game. It's just what happens.
Now, if she does it on Sunday against Michigan State, then we're going to be like, oh.
Yeah, right? That's what you're going to get. I'm going to be honest and I'm going to be like, okay.
Hey, can I get real quick? Do that face again. I'm gonna make this into. We're gonna make the. I'm gonna cut it out anyways. We're gonna make that face into a meme because that's the reaction as soon as Addie scores on Sunday. That's gonna be
if she scores like that on Sunday, I ain't even gonna say 18. If she scores like 13, 15, you're still gonna get that.
Yeah, she's had four double-figure games all year. And so this is her second double-figure game against Big Ten competition. So, no, 100%. Mary in the chat says, the Deal naysayers can pipe down. I do some comments
Let's not go that far, Mary.
Well, I do see some comments in the chat. People concerned about Leila Hayes, so let's address that. She did not play particularly well.
She hasn't been playing well.
9 minutes, 0 for 2 from the field, 2 rebounds, 3 personal fouls, no fouls drawn, no points, 3 turnovers. Just a freshman slump. Is she just going through it right now, Kachine?
That's what I would think. She's just going through it, honestly. I don't think.
Concern moving forward.
No, she's a freshman. Freshman post players have it the hardest. That's what I said about Ava last year. They have it the hardest. That's like the biggest transition from physicality to everything. In that aspect, they're actually playing post defense in college. I mean, in high school, they're not doing that. So, but yeah, I mean, she's just kind of going through a freshman slump. Yes, I wish that she wouldn't. I wish that she would be playing a little bit better, but right now she's playing where I'm nervous. I'd rather Hannah be at the 5, but it's not here nor there.
All right, let's before we go to our next caller, big thank you to Big Grove Brewery that we keep touting them. They're with us for the foreseeable future. We appreciate BGB, Big Grove, the official craft brewery of the Hawkeyes. We kicked back with a Royal Eddie tonight. It's a hoppy one. If you enjoy a good IPA, an Imperial IPA, check it out. They got so much to offer there at Big Grove. Their locations across the state of Iowa, plus Omaha, soon to be Kansas City. Check it all out, biggrove.com. Big Grove Brewery, the official craft brewery of the Hawkeyes. All right, let's go back to our phone line. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Kachine Alexander. Who's on the line?
Oh, my goodness. Am I on?
You're on the air with Kachine. Welcome.
Awesome. Hi, my name's Brian. I'm from Minneapolis.
Hey, Brian from Minneapolis.
My one comment, or I guess my one thought that I wanted to call in about was that I was in New York and I watched UConn just destroy Iowa.
Yeah.
But I did see Addie Deal in person, and I maybe have said this before, but to reaffirm, she's a McDonald's All-American. And she has all the 5-star qualities that comes along with that. And her floor is exceedingly high. And I think she's just going to have games like tonight where she just pops off. And I think that's what Iowa can expect. And I'm just glad to see it.
You
I
see
second that.
you see the same 5-star qualities, Kachine and Addie? And if so, what are they?
Damn it. I was doing really well, Corey.
What are you talking about?
I like to stay positive, sometimes.
Well, our caller's bringing up the 5-star qualities. Obviously,
no, you didn't have to go there.
she's got.
Okay.
I'd be glad to describe.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, you please do.
She was super communicative. She was talking to all of her teammates on the floor. She was doing, and I don't want to oversell it, but I'm just saying that there's like when you're a player of that talent and you played on like AAU teams and you learn how to play winning basketball, I think her floor is exceedingly high.
Well, I'll say this about her, because I have been critical of her at times. Not unfair criticism, just criticism. She's a freshman, right? What I see in Addie Deal, positive traits. She's got great touch. She's a very good shooter. She's got very good vision. Speed of the game is going to affect how quickly windows close, right? But she's a good passer. I think as you adjust, you're going to see the assist numbers go up, and you hope that the turnover numbers stay down. So those are things I would say, Kachine. I think physically, like you said earlier, she's not the quickest. How much can that change, improve? We'll see, But I'm with you. I don't know how much you can really improve that. But anything that I'm missing there in describing the upside of Addie Deal's game?
Perfectly said.
Anything else, Brian?
Oh, yes. I had one other thought, and it just entered my head, and then it just left. But does Iowa have any juniors on its team?
Any juniors? Does Iowa have any?
We have the 3 seniors. We have all the young underclassmen, but do we have any juniors?
Do they have any juniors? Oh, let's see. Is Kenise Johnson's a junior, but she doesn't play. And is that it? I think technically that's it. Kenise Johnson is your only junior.
Okay. That's just kind of interesting, thinking next year we won't have any seniors, but all of the underclassmen.
Yeah, careful with them extra scholarships they got coming up.
Yeah, we don't know that they won't have any seniors because they brought Lucy Olson in for 1 year, and they may do that again. They may bring a player in for 1 year if they get the right fit.
That's fair, but what kind of player would you bring in?
Lucy Olson.
Depends.
I mean, I'm not saying they're gonna, Addie Deal hopefully takes that next step and is, a more of a ball handling focal point in the offense in the backcourt. But I'm just saying, if like Kachine just said, it depends on who's available. And then I know they haven't been hit by the portal a whole lot, but like Aaliyah Guyton hits the portal last year, and they had to go get a point guard, and all of a sudden you have a starting guard and Chit Chat Right. So I'm not going to predict anybody hits the portal. I think they need help at the 4 because I don't really know. Obviously Hannah's going to be gone, but who plays behind Journey at the 4?
Velichko's coming
I know
in.
Velichko's coming in, but Velichko is look. I'm a big.
You need a 4.
They need a
that
4.
Can shoot the ball.
I heard all last year about how we don't need Aaliyah Guyton because you got Addie Deal coming in. You cannot count on true freshmen, right out of the gates. So I'm not saying she won't be a factor, won't play, sure, but I think they could use a 4. That's my thought right now, and that's notwithstanding portal departures.
No, that's all fair. And you know what? I love you guys. You were so fun to talk to.
Well, Brian, we appreciate you calling in. Are you getting some bad weather up there? I know that it's coming down this direction as well.
It's getting cold. It's fine.
All right.
You just hunker down. But I really appreciate you, and I really enjoy talking with you. So,
are you a North Sider or a South Sider?
Pardon?
Are you a North Side Minneapolis or a South Side Minneapolis?
I'm South Side, and not to get political, but holy crap, our town, our whole state has been
turmoil,
just in the fire.
It's been on the news a lot, hasn't it?
Praying for you over there.
No, nothing good.
I hear you.
Well,
holy crap, it's hard to deal with living. I live in Minneapolis, so I'm right in the belly of the beast.
Well, shout out.
You are on Southside.
Yeah, shout out to Southside. Anyways, all right, Brian.
Have a good one.
Appreciate you being here, sir.
Yeah, 34th in Portland, where the ice incident occurred, is 2 miles from me. So it's very front and center. Yeah, it's tough.
Crazy.
I appreciate you, and again, thanks, and go Hawks.
Thank you, sir. Have a great night. All right. A couple of things here. So, Aaron, thank you for being here, Aaron Jones. Watching from Kentucky. Got to watch the Kentucky girls win and Iowa win. It's a great night. That's cool
Love
to
that
hear.
for you.
Remember her name in the chat. So it's always cool to hear maybe a Kentucky convert. Did we call that? Is that a term? Kentucky convert? So that's awesome. Sarah's in the chat. Sarah Nicholson. Deal played exceptionally well. It's clear she has a strong basketball IQ. There's another great trait of Addie Deal. Knows exactly where to move the ball. She has needed to play for more minutes to get feel of the game. And Jennifer says she loves your hair. So there you go. How about that? Jennifer's here, just, random compliment in there. So we're going to be welcoming in our good friend Isaac Nichols, who's live at Carver. We're going to be welcoming him into the show here in just a couple of minutes. Before we do, we've got more callers waiting on hold. Lomansky is here. Lomansky, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, Corey, thanks for taking my call.
I love that you're on video now all the time. It's great.
Corey, you inspired me to take a leap, and I have a face for radio, but you inspired me to come on verbally, but you're not the only one that inspires me.
Hey, I will say this. I love the black tiger hawk with the yellow background and the black border. So kudos to you for an awesome shirt. Awesome sweatshirt.
I want to be like Lomansky when I grow up.
I got some bad news for you both. I haven't grown up yet, and I don't intend to.
Please. Okay.
Well, I guess that's good for me.
Oh.
Say, Kachine, talk about practice, and when you have depth and good players, I think that the practice talent on this team is making the youngsters better in several positions. I'm sure, like with your rebounding skills, you push people to box out better, et cetera, et cetera. Talk about when you have a really good team. People want to talk about the leading scorer, rebounders sometimes are not appreciated. Talk about people with a lot of energy and practice that make the whole team rise.
Yeah, you're only as good as your backups, whether that be the second string, a third string, if you have that many people, or even your practice guys. I will say that time and time again, you're only as good as those people because they're going to push you day in and day out. I think that the fact, I will say, it's probably a lot harder with this team. And practice is probably a lot more competitive only because they don't have stars, if that makes sense. Like there was nobody, and I'm not saying this, there was nobody that was taking Camille Walling, Jamie Prenny, my spot. Nobody was we were set. There was nobody coming after that of any sort. And I feel like potentially, right? Depending on certain situations, how people play, that can always be a possibility, which makes practice that much more entertaining in that aspect. So I think you're right, Lomansky, in saying that practice, I'm sure, is very competitive in regards to that, especially for some people.
I also liked the move across the lane by Hannah, and she banked one in. I'm always hoping and looking for new moves. And don't you think that that look to the right and then go to the left. You could start the left and go to the right, but maybe we've seen something that she's been working on that will show up even more with that 5-foot reverse direction and put more stuff on tape for people to think about.
We have seen that a couple of times.
We have seen that.
Yeah.
That one, I will say she has made before as far as her little spin move. It did look a little cleaner today, I would say. It didn't look as janky as some other times where she's done some spin moves. It didn't look natural at all. But I would say some of her spin moves today were a lot more natural looking. But overall, like I said, I think Hannah's energy is what propelled her throughout the whole game. Even that one stretch where like she hit the jumper. It was a lot going on. It was like 3 straight possessions of just Hannah. But I think that just comes with, like I said, her energy. Her energy really propels her through those kinds of things. Nobody else is going to give us that kind of 3 straight possessions of you being the sole contributor.
Would you have done the same thing as Jan, as given Addie more minutes and feed the hot hand and just feed the fire?
Absolutely. In that game, absolutely.
I got 2 things to close with. The first one, Corey, is your hair looks good too. So don't.
Well, thank you. Results ads says I need to grow the facial hair back. So you can't be people pleasers because somebody's going to be, critical. So, but I appreciate that, Lomansky.
Not to be critical, but a little mousse, just a little more mousse is what I recommend.
Okay.
And I'll finish out with a shout out to Todd and Christina that watch your show from Los Angeles, California, who sent me this Christmas present, even though they're Cyclone fans.
Todd and Christina.
There's good people out there.
You got some good Cyclone fans in your circle, Lomansky. There's good people in names, and in California.
I'll second that. There's a good people names. I know at least one other. I know one person names that I like.
You do. Lomansky, I know one person in Wisconsin I like.
I got one person.
Right. Thank you, Lomansky. Appreciate being here, sir. All right. GRB. Iowa addressed all of my gripes tonight. How about that? All of his gripes are answered. So
I'm so happy for you.
Jayhawk says we're up to 330 likes, so let's get a few more in there. VMS
get to 5, bro. Yes.
I threw up get Corey some coffee. I threw that goal up in the live chat, and VMS says that Cash is going to need coffee more than Corey. If I asked you this question, do you drink coffee?
I don't.
Oh, well then.
I really wish that I did.
Though. Why don't you?
You just don't like the taste of it.
You just don't like the taste. Okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. So, I like the smell. It smells nice.
So how much have you had coffee? Like how much are we talking? Just black coffee? Or are we talking like?
I don't like any of the coffees.
Fruit coffee.
It does not matter.
Really? You don't even like a latte or a mocha?
Nope.
Something with espresso in it. All right.
Oh,
that's interesting. I didn't know that. I've never asked you that question, I don't think. So, okay.
Yeah, no.
Thank you, VMS. I will put that to good use. Annie says Addie was the real deal tonight and Hannah was on.
Agreed, Brooklyn.
Very much appreciate that, Annie from Brooklyn. And Bo is excited about Addie Deal as well. Sometimes all you need is a little sunshine to break the ice.
That's so.
There you go. And she was all smiles afterwards. If you missed her post-game interview on the Big Ten or on Fox Sports 1, check that out. It was nice to have a game early, and we were able to hear from the best player on the floor tonight. So
early.
It ended early. I said this to you already. Anyways, thank you, Bo. And then RAC. Boy, that's a hard username to remember. Love your show. Cash is the best. Well, I can agree.
RAC.
Thank you so much. All right. Let's go to our friend over at Carver-Hawkeye Arena, who's fresh off the Jan Jensen press conference. We got Isaac Nichols with us. Isaac, thank you for being here, sir. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well.
Good.
I know it's late for you. Cash is complaining because she's out in Charlotte and it's 11:30, but people don't realize you may not look it, but you are an old man at heart, and you're normally in bed by like 8.
Yes.
So let's give people an idea for what it takes for you to stay up until 10:30 to log on to this show from Carver.
Yep. So I have to delay my early bird dinner that's usually at 4 p.m. To stay up these extra 3 hours because I have a 7:30 bedtime.
The early bird, yeah.
No, but I am a coffee drinker, so I think me and my wife will drink enough coffee to make up for cash, not drinking anything.
Okay.
That's probably fine.
All right. And I will too, by the way. So
Yeah.
no issues there.
So we got you covered.
Isaac, you picked you were at a really interesting game tonight. I mean, this was an exciting win for the Hawks. This is a team that probably, I mean, you could argue has underperformed in the last week or so. I know they've not lost. They're undefeated in Big Ten play, but they were playing two of the worst teams in the league and struggled against Northwestern and Indiana. Tonight, they did not. Now, they were back at home. I didn't think Oregon played particularly well, especially on the defensive end. They struggled to make shots early, but give Iowa credit. People like Addie Deal stepping up. Hannah Stuelke was phenomenal. She showed she's got maybe a little bit more of a bag than we thought on offense. What was Jan most pleased with following the 8-point win?
Yeah, I mean, she, of course, got a bunch of questions about Addie just running through her season. Like, this is a season high of points, and it's by, 5 or so points. And then it's by, like, a good quality competition, especially because it's that 13 points that come against a much lesser opponent. So she got a bunch of questions about that, and she was like, yeah, she's not surprised that it's taken this long to live up to that 5-star potential against quality competition, but she was very glad that she has almost arrived, it seems like. But yeah, then kind of spent a couple minutes. I mean, it was a 14-minute long post-game press conference, which I thought was kind of impressive for her just to stick around and have that long conversation with everyone. One huge point of emphasis was just the crowd. Really good attendance. It shows that there was 500 empty seats in the whole stadium. And she was just super grateful for the crowd. Kind of ran through some of the history of women's basketball. Like, she was just, early on in its infancy, talking about how it was just a struggle to get to be written about, but now we got a big full press conference room, and then just a bunch of loyal, true fans that are genuine too.
Yeah, it seems like that continues to be that has not worn off yet, Kachine. And you are, you were part of the early, well, not really early Lisa Bluter era, but in some regards. And I mean, we reflect on that a lot, but it does seem like this Iowa staff, Jan especially, Lisa, of course, I know she's not there officially anymore, but they have not taken the evolution of this program for granted. And that is refreshing. I mean, when you do see all these fans, a lot of families out late, it's late. I don't think the weather is great. So you being an old man, please be careful. I mean, there are no laws yet enacting a rule for old people to take tests before they renew their licenses. So we have no idea how safe you are behind the wheel. Please be safe on the way home, Isaac. But a lot of people were out late tonight with their families, and that is a testament to the excitement around this program right now. And they are undefeated. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure she was asked about Addie's play just from a perspective of, I don't know that this means she's arrived. I hear that in the chat. But, I mean, I'm sure they've seen some of this in practice, but there really was no moment where she really let off the gas, and she didn't force anything tonight, Isaac.
Yeah, she was 4 for 4 from 3, which, were the shots falling for her, or has she arrived? I think that, let's just let the rest of the season play out. On your Lisa Bluter comment, she was here like 3 or 4 rows in front of me tonight, which is pretty exciting to see, along with 4 underclassmen, 3 underclassmen of the men's basketball team. So I thought that was interesting. Continued support though, but yeah.
And you told me that Trey Thompson and some of the men's team, they were in press row tonight.
Yeah. Yep. So Beth gets all the people I mentioned are in press row. Beth gets Lisa Bluter, and then 3 of the men's basketball current players.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. And we do see a lot of support. And Kachine I'm assuming that happened when you were at Iowa. Men's teams, that they came to Iowa games. You guys went to the men's games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a strong, did you not do that?
I wouldn't go to their games the night before a game, but that was just me. My teammates did, but I didn't.
Did you ever sit in press row?
We sat wherever there was an open seat.
Okay. So you guys didn't have you did not have physical tickets.
No, we don't have physical tickets. So we just came in through the player entrance, sat wherever there was a seat.
Okay. Well, there's your explanation why
there you go.
Men were in press row. So I guess we got to get more people like Isaac there covering the games in person. But there's a lot of media. I mean, it is amazing. I mean, I even remember a couple of years ago, maybe it's changed, but I've heard people say that you go up to Madison and there's like nobody covering the women's team up there. And compare that to what's going on at Iowa. It's something not to take for granted, for sure. Okay, anything else for Isaac that you can think of? Kachine, I probably have one more question specific to him, unless there was anything that stood out. I guess my question for you, Isaac, Hannah Stuelke, seems like these last couple of games, we're seeing a little bit more assertiveness. And I know when I've attended press conferences with Jan here in the last month, she's asked about Hannah's performance. She doesn't seem concerned. Kachine's made comments about how, well, when a player's hit their ceiling, you're just trying to get the most out of them that you can. You're not asking them to do things that they're not capable of doing. But we could have easily named Hannah Stuelke player of the game tonight. She played composed. She didn't miss a lot of bunnies around the rim. And she seems to be playing with more energy. I guess, what did Jan say about her senior?
Well, I'll tell you what Hannah said. So we got Hannah and Addie before Jan, and they just seemed like, for 37 minutes, they had super high energy. They were playing really well. But they were, Hannah was just really stoked she said, and I quote, be making shots from more than 2 feet out. So maybe that's a vote of confidence. Maybe that's just as a step in her game that she's.
Wait, time out. Wait, let's address that. That's an interesting comment. She voluntarily said, I'm just happy to be making shots from more than 2 feet out.
Yeah.
Kachine, what do you make of that comment?
Can I say no comment? Because I'm thoroughly confused.
What is there going to be confused about? That tells me that she's frustrated with her lack of.
You have to shoot it.
I know. I know.
That comment does not make logical sense. Because if you're happy for shots to be going in, you have to actually shoot them for them to potentially have a chance. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That doesn't make sense. That is a typical media answer because it really makes no sense, but it sounds good.
Well, to me, that tells me that she's probably frustrated because she probably did work extensively on her mid-range and three-point game in the offseason. But as the season has gone on, she just hasn't felt the confidence and game flow hasn't allowed her. She doesn't feel like it's allowed her to really display that work. That's my guess. I'm certainly stretching on that one, but
you are. You. What's that? Fantastic Four. That's what you are,
Mr. Fantastic.
Crazy.
Please.
It's crazy.
We'll
roll with it. Anyways, she's media trained. Keep going.
Isaac, anything else from you? I'm not going to keep you here that long because, I know it's late.
No, I've got caffeine pills, coursing through me right now, so I'm good to go.
Good deal. Well, be safe back out to your car. I know. I don't know what the weather is. I was told that it has been a little bit iffy, and we got more coming. So be safe, and hope you enjoyed it tonight. Let's hope that let's hope that people like Addie and Hannah both ride this thing. They got a better opponent coming up on Sunday against Michigan State. Any word from the press conference on the Spartans? One of the better teams they've played in Big Ten Conference play thus far.
Maybe home or away?
No, that's home.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
No, just murmurs from media members about what had been going on. That's the only thing that I heard about Michigan State was the result of tonight's game, and just murmurs about that. But
yeah, they beat.
What do you mean murmurs?
Just people talking in between press conferences.
What happened tonight? What did I miss?
They beat Nebraska.
Where?
In East Lansing. They beat them by 2. Wow. But okay. I think, am I right in saying, aren't they 17-1? Isn't that right?
Michigan State?
Wrong? They're 17. Michigan State Cash, is 17-1.
I mean, I understand.
You don't care? You don't care about that? I mean, why don't
Michigan State was not on my list of teams that I felt like was going to be a struggle to beat.
Well, they did not play a real difficult non-conference is the only reason they're not ranked in the top 10. All right. They played almost nobody early. Then they beat Clemson. They beat DePaul.
Who they beat in the Big Ten?
Well, and they also had a win over a top 15 Mississippi team that they held to 49 points. In the Big Ten, they've had wins at Indiana by 20. They had a win against Illinois, really solid victory. The Illini are ranked. They beat Washington by double figures, won at Oregon, beat Nebraska tonight. In fact, their loss in the Big Ten was in the Big Ten opener against, honestly, sort of a head scratcher. They lost at Wisconsin, but they've been phenomenal since. And then they also beat. Yeah, I know.
Michigan State lost to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's not as bad.
No. Don't even try to swing
All
it.
right.
Okay. Anywho, we're just gonna skip past that because that's insane. That's insanity. That's why they're not ranked high. Because what you lost to Wisconsin
we need to get a screen grab of Cash's face.
That was like if we would have went up and lost at Rutgers. Like what?
Okay.
Anywho.
All right.
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I was not worried about that.
Michigan State's sneaky good. I'm
not saying they're not good. I'm not saying it's not gonna be a challenge, but they are not on the list of teams where I'm like, oh hell, we got to play our best. Like, no, they're not on that.
But that is,
and we got them at home.
I guess what I'm saying is that's a game at home. Like these are the ones that make a difference. Okay, are you a 3 seed and host, or are you a 7? Like you can easily slip if you lose a couple of these. Like Iowa men's basketball the other night against Illinois, Isaac. You know, Illinois is a top 25 team, but they get them at home. Well, they lose a narrow one. It's like, okay, they may not be a 3 seed. They may be a 7 seed. Like that's, to me, those are almost litmus tests. When you're playing good but not great teams at home, you got to protect home court. They did it tonight, but Michigan State's better than Oregon. That's my point.
Like Iowa could easily lose, right, against Michigan State at home. However, I'm taking us at home against Michigan State. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like the stack isn't against us the opposite direction. UCLA comes to Iowa City, the stack is against us, even if it's in Iowa City. Like,
sure, that's my
you know
point.
what I'm saying? Like,
but
so I think,
yeah,
I'm just kind of like, okay, this is gonna be a good test, it's gonna be a good game, but I still feel good about us if we come to play. But
that's my point. These are going to be. This is a winnable game. This is a very winnable game that they need to win. You know, it's not going to be a bad loss if they lose, but it's going to make a difference in seeding.
Yeah,
okay.
It should be a good game.
I think litmus test is a good way to put it.
Yeah, and they have not played Iowa. Talk about not playing a difficult schedule. Iowa's has to be the easiest schedule in Big Ten Conference play to this point.
Gotta be, and I know everybody think the same thing. So every time they play Iowa, they think they can win against a ranked opponent. That's a good look on your schedule.
This was a good tune-up for Michigan State. Like this was a good stepping stone because Indiana was like not very good, and then you go to a decent Oregon team. Now you're going to go to a good Michigan State team. So I at least like the build up there. Isaac Nichols from the Hawkeye of the Storm, one of our great behind-the-scenes guys who was working in person there tonight at Carver-Hawkeye Arena. Isaac, we appreciate your hard work. Did you enjoy your Carver cone, or did you not? You didn't get a Carver cone.
No, I got Chick-fil-A. It was fantastic. I got a bag of chips in my bag now.
Isn't that cool? They have Chick-fil-A there at the arena now, Kachine.
It's all about the Carver cone.
That's fair.
Get the Carver cone.
But there's a Chick-fil-A advertisement up on one of the billboards, and
Do they still have the same flavors as they had when I was?
I think they just have vanilla, chocolate, and twist, don't they? I mean,
raspberry.
Oh, do they have raspberry?
Thank you.
What are you talking
I was
about?
checking because that's like.
I'm not
like,
listen, I'm not a Carver cone guy.
Whoa! All right. On that note, I have to
you
leave.
live in Ames, so it's fine.
No, I'm just saying.
Your judgment
red
is
ice cream isn't even
questionable
flavored
just off
right.
of that.
I grew up in Marshalltown, Iowa. We had all kinds of soft serve places. You
grew up in the city you just said, and you made a decision, a conscious decision, to live in Ames. See, here I was thinking you didn't have no choice.
Talking
You grew up
about?
there. You know
What
what
are
I'm
you
saying?
You knew I didn't grow up in Ames. What are you talking about?
That's so depressing. Anyways, yes, the raspberry is a must-have. I like it both ways. With chocolate twist, it has to be twist-wise, period. But either one.
Corey, you need to force yourself to be a Carver cone guy. Cash, less of a priority, but coffee. All right. Good night, guys.
Thank you, Isaac. Appreciate your hard work. Yeah, you try some. I'll tell you what, I'll get a Carver cone when you get a latte. So, anyways, all right. Jim Davis in the chat says Hannah's passing is underrated. Great game tonight. And how about Deborah? Figured out the Discord. We had so much fun chatting during the show. Instructions to join the Discord are streaming across the bottom of your screen. Deb is a brand new member to our Discord, so we appreciate Deb for being here. Please join the Discord, follow in Deb's footsteps. She brings out that this could have easily been a Hannah Player of the Game nomination this evening. So, by the way, 10 Kate VB says, is there somewhere where we can look at the plus minus of each player? Well, your wish, I guess, is my command. Here is the official box score for tonight's game. And let's see can I get this a little bit bigger for people. There we go. You'll see the plus minus stats on the far right. There it is. So best plus minus for anybody tonight was Kylie Feuerbach. She was plus 12. Whether you read into plus minus or not, that's a fact. Plus 12 tonight for Kylie. She was 5 of 6 from the line, played 31 minutes, was really good defensively, had 11 points. She's somebody we haven't brought up, Kachine, yet. Can we?
This is why, before you said who, Kylie?
Kylie.
Okay, before we get to her, this is why I don't deal with plus minus. Look at Addison Deal's plus minus.
-2. Well, now I will say
she scored 18 points.
She's not good defensively. She is not good defensively.
20 minutes? That's crazy. Anywho, it's no here nor there. That's why I don't pay much attention to those and never have. But
give me a word on Kylie's defense tonight, and she made some shots as well.
Well, I feel like yes, she did, which is we need that. I think what made the biggest difference of Kylie being in and out is the fact what I was talking about with the defensive scheming. With her, she kind of takes out whoever their best player is. And that when I say take out, I'm just saying she is in charge of that person. With that being said, it frees up other people because they don't have to. Well, what was that game that Chit Chat was guarding whoever? And I was like, my girl is exhausted. Because Kylie will shoot a 3 here or there, but she's not a huge offensive scoring threat. We're not asking her to, do that much in regards to offense. Yes, we would like you to hit, the occasional 3, et cetera. But so it does change our defense quite a bit. I feel like our defense was not as good when she was out. So now that she's back, everybody's kind of in the places that they should be, and all is well in the world.
Somebody in the chat wants us to raffle your Snuggie.
Absolutely not.
Okay. We've never had that request. That's interesting. So we're not planning on raffling any clothes, but we do appreciate the request, I guess. Flyer, thank you for complimenting the show. Let's go back to our phone line because we've had some people here on hold for quite some time. We've got Corey here on the show. Corey, welcome back.
Great to be here. Cash, you're winning. Your hair is winning.
Thank you very much.
Corey, I vote for a goatee for you. Not a full beard.
Oh.
Just a goatee. Okay.
Right.
But keep it kind of tightly trimmed though. Myself, okay. I'm a bit unshaven today, so I'm slipping.
That's okay.
But couple comments. I'm coming after the haters. Okay, so all you Addie haters and all you Hannah haters, I'm holding you accountable. Okay, so
are there a lot on the show tonight? I haven't really heard from anybody that's been all that.
No,
critical.
I'm talking about previous.
Oh. Well, then that's us, I guess.
It's not us because I've never been a Hannah hater, so there's definitely not me.
So. No, but I want to comment, Corey. You got my antenna up when you said that Addie's not a good defensive player. To me, and now we need a mediator here, Corey, because we're going to conflict.
She's telling you she's not a good defender, but Cash can answer the question.
Cash, would you say that she's respectable and she stays squared up to her the offensive player, and she's not fast, but she stays in good position, is my argument.
No, I think she fouls and gets away with it. She consistently has two hands on her defender as her defender is driving, and I'm like, they must like her, because that'll be foul central all day. I think that is one of her areas of improvement, which is normal for freshmen.
So
I'm on Corey's team, in case that wasn't clear.
Now I'm going to bring the hate. Okay.
Please don't argue. Real quick, please don't argue with Kachine Alexander about who's a good perimeter defender. But let's just. I want to help you not dig that hole now. Please don't do that, Corey.
No. I wanna refer to Cash as 21. So hey, 21. I'm gonna throw some hate or some shade at some people that we need to get figured out here as we get farther into the season and before tournament time. First off, Taylor Stremlow and her reckless passing. Cash, is that concerning to you? She's aggressive, but she threw that. I like pushing the full court, or I like pushing the break, but she threw that ball to Ava Heighton, and there were two people right in front of her on the far side. She turns and almost runs them over. I'm surprised it wasn't a charge call. And then she threw that sideline pass and just rolled it right out of bounds on the right sideline.
Listen, Taylor Stremlow says, and I'll let Kachine answer. She was just better when Chit Chat was out. I mean, she's not the same player off the ball, and I don't know. I mean, Kachine, agree or disagree with that? Anything else on Taylor Stremlow? Because she's not been the same player since December.
Agreed. She wasn't the same player before Chit Chat went out, so clearly there's a correlation there. I can't tell you why the correlation is the way it is, because I don't quite understand it. It shouldn't have anything to do with her personally, but it's not here nor there. I do think that Taylor has the hero complex when she plays basketball, which is frustrating. And that's why she gets into the trouble that she gets into.
And, and I'm just, this is a win, and we have to celebrate wins, and I want to stay positive. First off, before I forget, we've got Lemansky on camera. I want Erica to show herself. Erica, stop hiding behind the phone lines and show yourself.
Don't be a coward.
I feel like all the regulars need to. Brandon need to be on camera at some point. Erica, Kelly. Let me think.
There's more. There's plenty more.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a list.
Lemansky and I are the bravest because we have faces for radio and we still show ourselves. So, but no. Moving forward, though, in the discussion here, what's concerning to me, you think of teams, whether it's USC, UCLA, Cash, I commended Jan tonight for keeping Addie in the game, letting her get into a flow. There's so many times like I was fearful she was going to pull Addie out of the game. And I mean, would you speak to that as far as some of these younger players? And, maybe sometimes you just need to get into a flow. And if you keep getting pulled out of the game, How do you
wait
get
for
it?
this, coaches. That does not work. Unfortunately, fans, I get it, but you can't wait for that. We cannot wait for her to get into a flow or maybe get into a flow. You either have it or you don't. And usually you can tell within the first couple possessions if it's a player's day or not.
Okay.
Real early.
So that said, with like for example with Leila Hayes, so you just like she made a good post. She got the ball. She didn't fart around with the ball. She pivoted and put it up, and she happened to miss it, but it was a good move. But how do you?
Leila's never going to get more minutes because our best player is Ava Hayden. So even if Leila is playing well, Ava's not sitting because she's playing well. It's just not happening.
I guess my question is
Addie
this:
plays well, then other people will sit. Right now, you've got Taylor Stremlow might be playing a couple extra less minutes. You might have Taylor McCabe playing a couple extra less minutes. That's fine. But Leila, she's gonna have to buy her time, baby, because she's not. I don't care if she came in there and scored 3 straight buckets.
Okay, so I guess here's my point. What are you going to do against UCLA if Ava fouls out? Do you think Hannah can hold her own in there, or do we need to try to get some sort of development with Leila?
She's going to be thrown in there like Ava was last year. That's what happens. Like, if something happens and she gets into foul trouble, well, first of all, Ava's gotten into foul trouble plenty of times already this year. We talk about it all the time. There are many other ways to do it. You could be in zone. You can figure it out in that aspect. But Leila is not really going to make the girl is 6'7". Like, unless Leila is 6'6" or 6'5", I don't see that happening, that she's going to be, some savior of all saviors. However, I do think that that's just what happens is when your number is called, you have to come out and play. That is your opportunity. Whether somebody gets injured, somebody fouls, somebody, whatever the case might be, you have to be ready. Next man up at any point in time. We can't think, when we play so-and-so, we got to make sure Ava, we don't have time for that. We're trying to win this game. We're not worried about them. Because if I'm too busy trying to figure out, what Leila can do and not do, and we end up losing the game because I should have been putting in somebody else, what's the point? We just lost this game. So you're really only worried about now. When we get to that, we'll game plan before we get to that and figure out what our options are. If Ava get in foul trouble, here's our other options defensively that we can go to. Here's who we can play. If maybe Hannah and Ava in foul trouble, what are we going to do? Like, all of those things happen once you are scouting for that team.
Okay, and I got to get off here because I'm hogging up the airwaves. But last question, Kachine. Have you experienced yourself, or have you been around a teammate that's gone through kind of a free throw shooting slump like Hannah Stuelke's in? I mean, this is not like her. She wasn't that bad from the free throw line, and we're in a bad spot. I mean, this is almost like Hacka Hannah. This is like Hacka Shack. I mean, if she's in the game late in the game, she could be a liability. As great as she played tonight, I mean, if this was a close game, it's like, hey, foul her. What's the solution there besides just additional extra work from the free throw line? Is there a psychology? Is there what is it? I mean, one of the fans, somebody was, must have been an Oregon fan that had some sort of crazy howl they were making. But
can I ask what you're talking about when you say she's never been this bad? She's a career 60% free throw shooter. She's shooting 55%.
I don't remember Hannah being, I thought she was at 70%. Am I mistaken?
I'm just going to read you the stats right now.
She started at like 40, I think, her freshman year, and then has gradually got better. But we were expecting her to keep climbing.
Last year, she was 70. Last year, she was 70, wasn't
she? She was 67.5% last year. You're right. She's gone 46%, 63%, 68%. Now she's back down to 55. So she's regressed. But here's what I think I'm going to give you some credit here, Corey, because I think you're remembering what I'm remembering. First month and a half of the season last year, she was like 80% from the line. Like she was going to the line a lot. And I remember asking her up in Sioux Falls, like, where has this come from? It just like this steady progression. I asked her preseason at media day this year, are you going to be an 80% free throw shooter? And she kind of giggled and was like, yep, 80%. So, I mean, I think she got a good free throw stroke, but sometimes like mentally you make yourself 55%. I don't know.
Do you guys remember that one game where Lucy was like 1 for 7 from the line? Like what? And then the next game she turned around and won us the game at the line. Sometimes it is a mental situation. And honestly speaking, I think everything that has to do with Hannah shooting the ball is mental for her. Her whole game is mental.
You know, there's times where she's a bit lackadaisical, where she's not really focused and locked in. I do see that. And last comment I want to make, and then tie it to a question, and I promise this is my last. So we've made reference to Addie Deal not being fast or not adapting to the speed of the game in college or whatever. But when I think of Lucy Olson, who is not a fast player, she kind of works at her own pace. And Lucy Olson has proven to be effective in the W. I mean, she's been pretty solid. Cash, can you speak to, Addie Deal, does she have to pick up speed to be effective, or can she be? It seems to me that she's got her pace, and as she's working within herself, it seems to be effective and workable. What's your take on Addie as it translates to both, college and or pro? You don't always have to be the fastest player if you pace yourself and you
to answer your question, technically any pace can work. The difference between Lucy and Addie, however, I would not compare the two. But the difference between them, one of the major differences, is that Lucy is way more athletic than Addie is. And secondly, Lucy also has that mid-range. She was long. And her mid-range is what was able to work for her. She never always got to the rim because of her lack of quickness. But her ability to rise over defenders is something Addie does not have in that aspect. That is what she's going to have to figure out. What Addie has to work on, and it's why her pace is going to be able to work, is if she can become a good three-point shooter, like a good three-point shooter, like a chit-chat three-point shooter. If she can do that, it will open up the court like it did today. She didn't have to be quick today. Why? Because she was shooting well. So the defense has to respect it. And then that little of them going like this, you're able to get an edge. And I think that is what she has to be good at. If she cannot shoot the basketball at a good clip, she's going to be ineffective offensively.
Yeah, and one last comment, and I keep saying last. Journey had, for her, a bad game, and she was not a liability. And I just, it's reassuring to have a Journey like that. Thank God we do, because we didn't get. I'm at a loss. It was your early interview last year, Corey. Our four that hasn't, she's kind of slumping.
Tegan?
Tegan, thank you. Tegan Mulaney. You know, I think with Tegan, I mean, is this season lost for Tegan?
Absolutely.
It is. So you think it's like for her, it's going to have to be a regroup and start over next year?
It's the middle of January, and she has not seen the court.
Yes.
Unless she has some crazy hot streak, I don't see that happening. Because Coach Jay and the staff have gotten comfortable with Journey. I call it, say what you want. They've gotten comfortable with her. One, because she doesn't really make mistakes. Every coach loves that. She doesn't make many mistakes, and she offensive rebounds the ball. She tends to be in places she shouldn't be, right? Like good places, of course. Even the one with the Hannah and Journey, like, where was she? Where was she? But she, was right there to put the ball in the hoop. But I just don't see that happening. It's very unlikely that she will be able to work her way into some serious minutes.
Okay, and Corey, you got to cut me off after this because I'll just keep going. But
I was going to cut you off after that, so make this one quick.
My last question is, okay, so if it's too late for Tegan, I don't know if I want your answer. Emily Rodriguez, can she make it back on the court and be impactful? I mean, she's already proven to have been. If she gets in good graces with Jan, what's your bet, Cash? What's your vision for Emily Rodriguez going forward?
Thanks, Corey. Emily, I have no reason to believe Emily's not in the good graces of Jan Jensen right now.
Emily Rodriguez has a back injury. She is not in the same space as Tegan Mulaney. Tegan Mulaney has not played good all season. She has. Emily, that is. As soon as Emily is able, Coach Jay and that coaching staff will gladly take her back.
Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit to get her back. Like, if they could get her back beginning of February, that would be huge.
Well, I told you as soon as we heard the first time she was injured and it was back, I said it then. I don't like that.
Yeah, backs can linger.
They can linger. They're tricky. You could start to work your way back, and then boom, you're back to square one.
DJ Doug, thank you for the super chat. He says, with Cash on the coffee, smells good, tastes like mud to him. So thank you, Doug. Appreciate the super chat donation. And Bo, thank you for being a premium member here on YouTube and over on the Discord. He says, I think Stremlow and Chit Chat struggle with the point guard role responsibility. Playing together, Chat doesn't really move off the ball to let Strem run the point.
She doesn't need to run the point. That's what I don't get.
Nor should she.
Stremlow doesn't need to run the point. She should be totally fine running the off-guard position. That's what I don't get.
Yeah, and she's not right now.
It blows my mind. But anyhow.
Thank you, Bo, for that super chat. David wants to know how many steals Hannah had. She had two steals in the night for Hannah Stuelke. So that is positive. All right, let's finish up with our last few callers. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Kachine Alexander. Who's on the line?
Hello, yes, this is Jacob. How you doing?
Jacob, how are you? Mavs won by 30 tonight. Welcome.
Well, they won by 30,
and they're only 10 games below. They're only 10 games below 500. What do you got to say about the Hawks?
What's that?
What do you got to say about the Hawks? The Mavs are only 10 games below 500.
Just to be clear, I said hello, how you doing, and you went right into the Mavs. So let's just be clear on how that all transcribed.
He did.
But Mavs stink. I would just like to say that is the reason why is one of the only reasons Addie can get quicker without actually having quickness is by, and because I've heard this conversation quite a lot tonight, is how she can't really get quicker and everything. It's just not her game, whatever. Is it simply she just needs to play fast? It's simply play faster, meaning be more confident, get to her spots. If she has the ball in her hand, move with intention, just play fast, and that might look like she's playing faster.
No.
Okay.
I'm more saying like she has to get past her defender, and she can't do that.
That is true.
So,
Not a lot of people want to touch that subject. That is true.
She can't get past her defender. And again, the only reason why she was able to do that today is because the defender had to lunge at her because she was shooting lights out. That's why I said what I said is she has got to become that kind of 3-point threat. Obviously not 4 for 4. Okay. But she's got to become that kind of 3-point threat so that they have to give up that edge. If they don't have to give up that edge, she's a sitting duck.
Yep. And as far as Stremlow, she obviously is in a weird spot offensively because to start the season, she wasn't necessarily looking for threes, but she was taking threes confidently and she was making them. She was shooting in rhythm, and it was nice to see. I'm not saying she was just jacking up shots, but she was taking shots and she was taking good shots and she was being confident with it. Now, over the last few weeks, it seems like she's not looking to take shots. And I was wanting to know what you thought about why she's at this time not kind of looking to even take shots. Why is she kind of taking a step back a little bit?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very stumped with Taylor Stremlow. Nothing makes sense. Only because
she was playing confidently. She was in rhythm, like I said, and it seemed like she had a good flow and she had a spot within the offense.
I'm really surprised at you, Kachine. I don't understand, well, for lack of a better word, what you're talking about. You've never seen guards that struggle once they don't have the ball in their hands very much?
But I never thought that was Taylor Stremlow's go-to strength. Like she was a one-dimensional, like has to have the ball in her hands. That never, didn't seem like something that was like so pressing to the point where it has completely diminished her as a player.
I don't think
that's what I'm confused about.
I don't think she's one-dimensional. It just feels like she doesn't know how to tap into her other dimensions yet unless she has the ball. Like that opens up every other aspect of her game, whether it's a mental thing or a physical thing.
Iowa literally passes the ball the whole damn. We always talking about how nobody wants to take the shot. So that's what I'm saying. We're not ball heavy. Nobody wants to take the shot.
Does she feel, was it different because she wasn't playing with pressure? Like she had to be the point guard before and now.
That's probably it. Because maybe she knows that, let's be honest. When Chit Chat was out, she knew she was playing regardless.
Exactly. That's what I'm
We ain't nothing else. And maybe now in her mind, it's like, oh, shoot, if I don't play well.
And let's be honest, she is a bit of a risk. She is a bit of a risk taker. And so.
Well, she's gonna have to suck that up because that's ridiculous.
Well, it's a coaching staff's job to figure that out and figure out a way to bring that back out in her and let her play through mistakes. And because we need that aggression. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Because it almost feels like she and the coaching staff both are in agreement without talking to each other and admitting this as of, hey, I don't know where I fit in right now. And we as coaching staff, we don't quite know how to fit you in right now. We don't know how you fit. And it's almost like that conversation's having with nobody actually having it.
I don't know if I agree with that statement.
Okay.
Because our offense has not changed.
It just looks weird.
It's her. It's not the offense. It's not anything. She was the same things that she would be doing when Chit Chat was not here. It's the same thing she's doing now. Chit Chat is still not even bringing the ball up the court all the time. She is. So that's what is baffling to me is you are still the point guard when Chit Chat is in a lot of the times because that pisses me off, but that's nor here nor there. I'm just going to keep that rolling. But it's like for her, maybe it's what Corey said, where she knows that if you're not playing well, we got Chit Chat. So, and then you got other people too. Because again, like I said before, If Addie Deal is playing well, who's sitting?
Yeah,
Taylor Stremlow.
You're not playing Chit Chat, Strem, and Addie all together.
Not happening. So, and Chit Chat's not going nowhere.
Although, why can't Stremlow play the 3?
I don't know what Stremlow is doing. She needs to have a kumbaya moment. No, that's what she needs to do.
Okay.
Just play ball.
She's a good.
Well, yeah. I don't really want to see Stremlow in a position against a team that's going to press a lot, like for Ohio State. I don't want her to be having the ball, bringing it up most of the time. I don't want that.
I don't want it ever.
I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong in my opinion, but I don't want her in that position.
I can see where you're coming from.
I've seen her get the ball stolen from her one too many times.
Everybody get the ball stolen from them, except for Chit Chat.
Yeah, this whole team is.
Yeah, the whole team does, except for Chit Chat. That's the only person I feel confident against any pressure.
They turned the ball over 14 times tonight. It didn't even feel like that much. They only turned the ball over 14 times. That's still too many, but for this team, that's hardly anything.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I will too.
Yeah,
Jacob.
For your for your goatee, I'm not thinking so. Can you rock some Val Kilmer Tombstone movie stash to the side and everything?
I was thinking
Can you go down that route?
I was thinking about the long sideburns. Can we do the sideburns that go down to like here?
No.
And
the long lamb chops?
Yeah, the lamb chops.
No, I will quit.
Try the lamb chop. Can we get a lamb chop fund with the super
I will
chat?
quit.
No, put it on a picture. Put it on a shirt.
Kachine just threatened. She just threatened co-host vacancy, so we can't do that. So.
I will quit if you end up with lamb. Absolutely not, because I couldn't be able to do the show. And look at you like that. No,
I would have to be off camera. We'd have.
Yeah, it's no way. No
camera. It's like a face for radio. All right, Jacob. Thank you for calling in, sir. We always enjoy hearing from you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right. We're going to go to our next caller here. But first, Sheila with the super chat. What was the key to this win? And thank you, Sheila, because she is a new Discord member. Join the Discord, $5 a month, $50 for a year, no taxes, no fees. Kachine, how would you answer that question from Sheila? What was the singular key to tonight's victory over the Ducks?
Making baskets.
Okay. Is that really making baskets?
Honestly speaking, I feel like we go as Hannah goes and her energy goes. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna continue saying it.
All right, Hannah's energy.
Yeah, her energy just makes our lives easier.
That is an excellent answer. Let's go back to our phone line. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Kachine Alexander. Who's on the line?
Hi, this is Annie from New York.
Hey, Annie. Thanks for waiting on hold so long.
Yeah. I just want to say I was really impressed with Addie tonight. That was awesome. I hope she can stay consistent because that was a real big lift to the team tonight. It's just like she came out of the woodwork. It was terrific.
She was phenomenal tonight.
Yeah, she just ran away with it, literally. She carried that team tonight. And Hannah, when her confidence is on, she's like a whole new person. And I agree with Kachine. I think a lot of her game is so psychological. It's so hard to wrap your head around that, And I notice when she takes foul shots, to me, she looks like she's rushing her shot. Her form, she sets up. Doesn't seem like she's really looking straight at the hoop. I don't know. She doesn't seem to take her time when she takes foul shots. But look, that's her style. Whatever works for her. But I just kind of noticed that when she goes to the foul line, it looks like she's rushing that shot. When I played, I took a second to kind of take a deep breath, look at the edge of the rim, the front of the rim. I don't know. Just my opinion when I watch her take a foul shot. She drives me crazy.
You see that, Kachine?
I don't know.
You were a pretty good free throw shooter, right, Cash? What were your career percentages,
When she goes to the line, she looks like she just wants to get rid of the ball. I don't know. Anyway, she had a good game tonight. I got to give her credit, and I just hope she can stay consistent.
No, she was really good, and You know, the free throw shooting can easily come in spurts, Annie. I mean, we brought up last year's start of last season.
It's definitely streak. Yeah,
she was shooting in the 80s at the start of last season. So let's just hope maybe this game will, confidence in one area can trickle over into confidence for another area, right, Kachine? And maybe
that's
she starts
what I'm hoping.
Free throws
because she looked really sharp, on the court tonight. She was hustling. I mean, well, she does the best she can, but she just produced tonight really well.
Yep.
And I think Chit Chat, she's a real spark to the team. I just, when she's out there, she's out there. I think her quickness, and she's like a real spark to the team. I hope she gets like a lot of playing time because I think she picks the team up too, just from watching her play. The way she hustles, she seems scrappy out there. Just my opinion. I think she's a good influence on the team.
By the way, Annie,
I don't know.
Kachine Alexander was a career 75% shooter. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed.
Wow.
I thought for a lead guard, she'd be closer to 80. But, hey, you know what?
Oh, come on.
No, I'm just saying. But, hey, if Hannah Stuelke could be 75% from the line, I'd be doing jumping jack. So that's really good.
75%, baby.
I know.
I got beat up a lot. So.
Listen, if she can play like she did tonight for the rest of the season, I think that would make a big difference in the team. Just saying. I hope she can keep her confidence up because I agree with you guys. Her confidence level has so much to do with her game.
Yeah.
And that's just such a psychological thing. There's nothing you can do about that,
The version
anyway,
the version of this Iowa team tonight was substantially better than the version of Iowa team we've seen the last 2 games, Kachine.
Yeah.
That's encouraging because I think there was a bit of concern from you and I after the game against Indiana because it was like, okay, it wasn't just a one-off against Western.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so it was good to see this team clicking on offense.
Right.
And it was led by the energy of Hannah Stuelke. I thought that was a good call by Kachine, giving Hannah Stuelke's energy kind of being the key for the game tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, when her confidence is there, it's obvious. It's something, yeah. And I agree with you with the Stremlow. I kind of wish she would be more effective. Maybe the fact that Chit Chat's out there, like you were saying, that was a good observation. When Chit Chat's out there, she's quick and she's scrappy. She makes things happen. Not that Stremlow isn't, but I just, Stremlow got off to a good start this year, and it's like I don't know what happened. I wish she could play her game.
She's got to figure out how to play with a lead guard. That's
the
biggest hurdle she's got right now.
Yeah, because she can be effective. She had some good games. Well, listen, you guys have a good night. I love the show, and go Hawks. I hope we can do a good job in the next game.
Annie, we love you. We want you to join our Discord at some point. Some thought.
I don't understand how that works. I don't.
Hey,
I don't understand how that works.
Kachine will teach you. Pretty simple. You can handle it, Annie. But we'll hope to get you. That's our hope for the week.
Yes, we're gonna work on that.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, Annie.
All right. Listen. Yeah. Take good care. Thank you.
All right. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Addie Deal. We got 2 more people. We're gonna try to run through these relatively quickly so Cash can get some shut-eye. Addie Deal's our player of the game. 18 points, 7 and 9 from the field, 4 of 4 from 3 in just 20 minutes of play. She was really, really good. Make Your Memories Loud in the chat says, shout out to Ava and Leila for being more disciplined with their verticality on defense. They're getting better in that regard. Would definitely agree, especially on Ava. Cub Hawk says, question for Kachine. Was it me or was Deal using her? I don't even know what that means.
Was she using her hesitation move to get to the rim tonight instead of the crossover?
Okay. All right. Was she using her hesitation? I don't know why I didn't just spell that out. To get to the rim tonight. All right. What'd you see from her dribble drive tonight?
Her dribble drive was a lot easier because she was making shots. Simple as that. But I do think that by nature, she has to have a little bit more jerk in her game because stop, because of her lack there of speed. So, yes.
Asa says Leila had a really rough start. Stuelke's becoming who we hoped she would be. Addie's maturing fast. Ava cleaning up her inconsistencies. Nice to have Feuerbach back on defense. Looking forward to the show. Thank you, Asa. Nick reminding everybody, Nick Gold says, likes for Addie Deal. Hit that thumbs up button, folks. Please.
Like for whoever you like.
The show.
I'll take it.
Paul says, I'm watching this from his phone. Where's the like button?
That's a great question.
Well, you just, first of all, just take it off of full screen mode, scroll down, and then you'll see the little thumbs up button, Paul. Pretty simple to do if you get it off of full screen mode. David, thank you for being a premium member. We appreciate that very much so, excuse me. And Christy, thank you for being a Discord member. If Addie has a couple of big games in a row, do you think she'll take McCabe's starting spot, or do you think she'll keep coming off the bench? She's not taking her start. I mean, there's no way. McCabe's not shooting the three ball right now, Kachine, but Addie's had one game in a row where she's been really good offensively. She's going to have to do a lot more proving before we even have that conversation. Mike Serdukin, good win by the Hawks. A little concern on how they ended the game. They kind of stopped playing defense late when they knew they had it in the bag. Cannot do that against good teams. Mike says, keep subscribing. Also, how can this pair only have about 12,500 subs? And Kashine's not the only former Hawkeye on here. So we got lots of content. So Mike, thank you for touting the show. We do appreciate that. Bob, thank you for being a premium member. I don't know about Kachine. I have not yet watched the Midi-Ontario game with McKenna. So we'll get that watched here in the coming days.
Work's been busy. Sorry.
No, you're good. VMS says Big Grove needs to get a Charlotte location. There we go. I'll put that in the works. I don't think it's quite that simple, but we'll try to get that process going. Here's a user says your shows are always good when Iowa wins. I guess
what is it like when they don't win?
Exactly, implying that the show sucks when they lose.
I mean, that could be true because they don't, they're upset that they lost. I'm okay with that.
Flyer 180, 720 watching. Where are the likes? Again, hit that like button. Peyton, what's the prediction for the next ranked stretch over the coming weeks? One at a time for this team.
Please.
Michigan State's tough. Do you realize Michigan State is out of 360 or whatever they are Division I teams, they are number 22 in the country in most turnovers forced per game.
Oh,
talk about pressure defense. I don't remember what Iowa did last year against Michigan State, but they force you to turn the ball over. This is going to be a litmus test, Cash. This game Sunday is going to be a litmus test. Let's just be happy it's in Carver. McKenna Velichko is a day one starter, says Gary and Brandon. Well, I know people said that about Addie, and maybe that's true about McKenna, but I got to see it before I believe it. And that means she's got to dethrone Journey Houston, unless they play Journey at the 3 or Velichko at the 3. Because, Journey's playing a lot right now at the 4. And Gary, I don't know, again, some of these statements, you just make them like they're black and white. He says, Emily's gone. Any player that gets suspended isn't coming back. That's just
he's on the bench.
Yeah, and it's also fair to say that that can be proven wrong by lots of points of evidence. Anyways, Chris says, tonight was the first time I've seen Addie beat anybody off the dribble. If you're hitting the jumper, and the processing seemed to be quicker tonight for her. Hopefully the game is slowing down. So Kachine brought that up earlier. Tony says, is Isaac in the Discord? We'll work on that. We'll get him a comp account. We'll get him in the Discord since he's helping so much here. Thank you for the super chat. Bo says, I think Stremlow and Chit Chat struggle with point guard role responsibility. Playing together, Chat doesn't really move off the ball to let Strem run the point. I read this already, but it was worth repeating. Good comment here from Bo. Thank you for the super chat. Richard says, Iowa's going west soon. How will they do over the next 2 weeks? Travel was not an issue last time. They lost to Oregon by 1 and then blew the doors off of Washington and Seattle.
One game at a time.
One game at a time. And as Ralph brings up, that pressure defense from Sparty is going to be a challenge. Go Hawks says, Kachine, how would you coach Leila at this point in the season to maybe get some more output from her? It seems like she's not as confident offensively as she was earlier.
Slow her down.
Slow her down?
Completely slow her down. I think she's trying to make too many moves. Just stick to one. It's okay.
Sheila's telling us some Carver Cone recommendations. And Sheila's in our Discord as well. So Sheila. Brian says, did we look like a number 11 team tonight? Sure.
No.
Excuse me?
What?
What else did they need to do to look like a number 1 team?
Did Ava play well?
No, but they beat a team that was I'm just looking at it from the optimistic standpoint.
But that said, do we look like the number 11 team in the country
tonight? He's saying
I know what it said.
They easily beat a team that was receiving votes in the AP Top 25. That's all I'm saying.
Number 11 team in the country.
I understand. You're right. All right. Maybe. Hey, they look like a top 25 team. How's that?
I'm all for that. 100%.
All right. We got 2 quick calls to run through. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Kachine Alexander. Who's on the line?
Hey, it's Tyler from Florida.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, been a while since I called, but thought I'd start calling back in again. I know you got to go quick. It's very late for all of us.
Yeah, don't bring up that men's game and Paul Sells last night.
I will not.
Please. Did you watch that game, Kachine? Did you watch the Iowa men's game at Purdue yesterday? How about some of that officiating? Paul Sells, give me a break. Anyways,
if you ever want me to go over that game, I take notes on a lot of stuff I can. But anyway, no, my thing with tonight, I gotta vent a little bit. I don't normally do this, but I feel like I needed to. Iowa fans, I'm a little unsure what they expect during the season from a player standpoint. Cash, maybe you can. I'll be honest, I don't think I'm wrong. I've been around the game, I feel like, long enough, but could be wrong on this. When you get into the season, teams have a routine. The coaches have what they have. You come into practice, you're getting your shots up, you're getting your warm-ups, you're running through a couple of sets, but they're watching game film, prepping for the next game. As far as player development, from that standpoint, the players are basically where they're at. They're going to learn game flow. They're going to learn what works in game, what doesn't work in game. But as far as developing that brand new skill set, fairly limited throughout the year. So when players start to look better, they may just be getting more comfortable. Their shot might be a little bit faster. Things like that develop over time. But as far as like new moves, new things like that, that development is very, very short. So players have good games. You shoot good, you look good. That's what we saw tonight. The key to this is going to be, how can you replicate that when your shot is not falling? What can you do, especially with Addie? Because it's not always going to be that way. So same with Hannah Stuelke. She was hitting the mid-range jumper. If she went over 3 on her mid-ranges, which happens more often than not, we'd all be saying something very different as well. And so I know that's a struggle with coaches as well, as how you develop that. So am I wrong in that assessment, Cash? Just saying that, look, players are pretty much what they are throughout the season, because you have a lot of prep and things that you have to do throughout during game weeks. The development happens mostly in the offseason.
That is 1,000% correct. You are where you are at this point. You might get lucky,
right.
You know, in a game where like the basket is like the ocean. Anything, you could throw anything and it's going in. That's just the luck of the draw sometimes.
Yep, exactly. So I guess my point to that is when we watch games as fans, you know, we obviously we're very biased and want that to happen. But what I look at is, you got to think of, okay, from the team standpoint, number one, these coaches are around the players hours a day, far more than we get to see for maybe 90 minutes every once or twice a week. And so it just, as fans, you got to look and see, okay, we know what the expectations are. We know what they are going to be. And so the development happens in the off season. However, during the year, just temper those expectations. Don't ride the fan wave up and down. Yes, we want we want Addie to be better. I think she will be better. But the development's going to happen in the off season. And then same with Hannah. Hannah is what Hannah is. And then the other players we hope to fill in. Stremlow's just got to find what made her good when Chit Chat was out, which it was aggressive play, but she had a lot of turnovers during that time. People tend to forget that as well, when she was primary ball handler. And so she just has to find that role in the off guard spot. And then obviously a couple of comments. Like I said, I'm kind of venting tonight, so just watching basketball, but a couple commenters were saying movement's not good. We're not setting nearly as many screens. I have no clue what they were watching. Number one, tonight, Oregon ran zone most of the time. So standard screens typically don't work very well. But what you did saw is Iowa was fully prepared for that, because as soon as they would screen the top of the key, immediately Ava and or Hannah would typically pin the defender deep in the lane, because they could get way deep position. And they were doing that, obviously, because that defender from the top cannot drop down to double team, which they tried to do multiple times. So it's things like that where, I don't know, I just feel like understanding the game a little bit better helps people out. So, like I said, I'm venting, but wanted to call in and mention that. I'll hang up and listen to you guys.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your call as always. And yeah, a lot more zone tonight from Oregon than we've seen from most teams. Kachine, what do you attribute that to?
Why they decided to do it?
Yeah, why play so much?
Well, most of the time when you decide to go zone, it's for multiple reasons. And usually it's because you do not feel like you can guard the interior. Or you don't feel like you can guard somebody off the dribble, which is definitely not us.
Yeah, that's not.
So the only other option is because we score majority of our points in the paint with our post players. So that's what they were trying to cover up. And they probably felt, if I am Kelly Graves, I'm thinking we only have one true shooter. Well, two. I'll give two. Chit Chat and Taylor McCabe. So in my mind, that we feel like we can keep them under control, etc. So that's why they went that route.
Iowa did a pretty good job shooting out of zone. 10 of 24 from 3. That's good for 42%.
Sure, they weren't banking on Addie Deal going 4 for 4. So
the Dirty Got, whatever that means. The Dirty Got 9570. Thank you for becoming a premium member. And he adds, he's John from North Kachine. Thanks, John. Appreciate you being here. All right, final caller. We got Tony here. Tony.
Hey, how we doing? I really want to discuss why do we have Jaden Hardy in the starting lineup when he has a plus minus of -3 and Klay Thompson is coming off the bench with a plus minus of plus.
Since when do you?
Sorry, I thought that was the Mavs show. I'm sorry.
So real quick, that's another the giving Jaden Hardy some massive contract was yet another gem from Nico Harrison. But
I have zero clue about anything to do with Mavs. I just looked at the box score and we were talking plus minus, and I'm sorry, I haven't watched a
They
second.
did win by 30 tonight, Tony, so it doesn't matter.
22, but
okay,
who's counting? One thing, and I know it's been brought up. We've talked about the upcoming schedule, and one thing that I noticed. And yes, we want to take it one game at a time. But before that West Coast trip, we actually go out to Maryland, come back home for one game, and then go all the way to the West Coast. How do you handle that as a team? I mean, just flying that much as a normal person is not normal. Because, I mean, we're talking about I had it on the dates. Where's the date? We're talking about from the 22nd to February 1st. So the 22nd, they're at Maryland. 25th, they're at home. Then they go out to LA the 29th and the 1st. They're young, but
that's an insane stretch. Yeah.
Yes.
From one side of the country to the other. For
sure.
And
it's not like you're playing nobodies. You're at Maryland, Ohio State at home, at USC, at UCLA.
Yeah.
After the Michigan State game.
That's a gauntlet. That's why what Kachine said earlier, they got to take one game at a time. Like, this Michigan State game is going to be tough. Not just because Michigan State's
game on the schedule.
Yeah. The next game is always the most important.
Well, but just with how Michigan State plays as well, just stylistically, that's going to be a difficult matchup. And it's a good thing that, we had a little bit of a scare tonight, Kachine, with Chit Chat going down hard on the tailbone. And why you roll your eyes? Why you roll your eyes?
That was the weirdest, so unnecessary fall I've ever seen in the history of ever.
I agree. When I saw her go down, I'm like, okay, she hit the floor hard, but it didn't look like something that.
Why did she fall like that? Is what I was trying to figure out. Like, maybe, you know what? The only option that I can come up with is the fact that maybe she felt her leg get clipped and she didn't want to try to land awkwardly. So she figured I'll just plop on the floor. That's all I got.
Well, I love Chit Chat, but I sent you a message when that happened. I'm like, Chit Chat's got to be tougher. You got to get up and shake that one off. And she did. Credit to her. She got up and then came right back in the game.
She ain't had no choice after that. Because if you sit down, it's over with.
Yeah.
Her butt is going to be hurting for tomorrow.
Yeah.
For sure. Anywho.
Another interesting schedule quirk, and I know Kachine is just going to be thrilled to hear this. 2 of the next 4 games are on Peacock.
Oh, she's fine with Peacock. She's fine with Peacock.
I don't know if that eye roll and head roll exactly agrees with what you were saying.
Yeah.
Definitely not agreeing with what he was saying.
By the way, I'll give you a little tidbit. Gary Close is fine with Peacock now as well, Tony. I won't tell you why. You can guess why he's okay with it.
Good for him.
Isn't Jess one of their people now? Or
he is one of their guys. Jess is on Peacock. Yeah. How about that? Jess Settles moving up the ranks. We got to get Jess back on here.
I do want to say I appreciate this. Of all the major sports you cover, you got women's basketball, men's basketball, and football. I think some people take Kachine's brutal honesty as being a hater.
Is it really?
And I don't think I do. And I mean, I know it's obvious, but I don't think you get that. No offense, I love Coach Close and Coach Patterson, but I don't think you get that on the other shows.
Yeah. Good observation.
It's hilarious. Y'all have no idea what brutal honesty is. I haven't even scratched the surface.
Oh, I know. And then that comment, did we look like the number 11 team? No, we covered the betting spread of 6. I mean, we didn't look like the number 11 team. It should have been a double-digit win easy.
Hey, Teal says don't forget wrestling. So
that too, yeah.
Listen, if brutal honesty means I'm a hater, then I'm a hater. Okay.
Hey, I will say I'll give Don and Gary credit. They are honest when they need to be honest as well. But
all coaches are haters.
Yeah, they're also former coaches. Kachine's a former coach, but those guys are long time. Well, Gary wasn't a head coach at the college level, but
Gary has a way of saying things that I don't have. Yeah. That's what that's called.
That's true too. I'm sure that's true.
My face needs deliverance. So I can't even hide it if I wanted to. So okay.
All right, Tony. We appreciate you.
No, yeah. Hey, I'm just gonna let you know. Think about it. In a couple of weeks, we'll just be starting a men's postgame show.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the men play
at 10 o'clock at night Central Time.
They start
at 10 tip time.
Eastern.
Where? What?
Washington.
Are they?
Seattle.
Washington.
Oh shit.
So
yeah.
will you
PM Central?
Can you listen, I'll tell you what.
I won't even make the first quarter.
Come on now.
Unless it's
11,
really,
that's
really
11,
is Washington even good?
They're top 50 in the net. So I mean it's gonna be a call.
But they're not ranked or anything, right?
No,
but that will be
I ain't saying up for that.
But Kachine, what's a quad? Is that a quad one?
100% quad.
Quad one, Kachine.
Tonight was quad 1 too.
I mean this with all genuine sincerity in my heart. I don't care enough.
I get it.
Well, the men
for women's basketball, that's different.
No, I get it. No, I
don't care enough to be staying up to watch men's basketball
at
men. 12.
Yeah, 11. No. Yeah, 11 p.m. tip for you because it's 10 p.m. us, 11 for you.
By the time it's done, it's no. Yeah, it's okay. Listen. Yeah. And it's even longer men's basketball because they got those stupid halves. Like, no.
We had that discussion in the Discord about halves.
The men need a quad one victory more than the women do. So
they're getting it Saturday.
And Tony already said he's going to stay up for the post-game show that night.
You don't have a choice. You got to do post-game. So
yeah, it's going to end at like 2 a.m. But anyways, all right, Tony.
They're getting that quad one win Saturday.
All right, quad one win Saturday for the men.
You heard it here.
As they should. That's their next game.
No, they get Indiana Saturday.
Oh, okay, that's a doable, watchable game. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon, big game. The Hawkeye women,
but I ain't watching that Seattle game. That's not happening.
The Hawkeye women defeating Oregon 74-66 in the friendly confines of Carver-Hawkeye Arena. Big Grove's big play of the day was Hannah Stuelke's rebound, and then it was kind of a two-part play. Journey Houston with a last-second shot with 6 seconds remaining in the first half to make it a 5-point lead at halftime. And then I'll say this, Kachine, seems like there's an epidemic in college basketball. I tend to see it more on the women's side. I don't know if it's coaching or what it is. Mm-hmm. Players not knowing where the clock is. Can you explain that? At the end of the first half, the Oregon Duck player that had no idea that there was 1 second on the clock, and she tries to drive past the defender. She's dribbling the ball as the buzzer sounds.
So here's the thing with that. She saw the clock before she started. When she got the ball, she looked up, she saw the clock. She thought she had more time. She didn't have more time. It's two different things. Even if you know how much time is on the clock, you also have to know each dribble is a second. And you have to do that math in your head really fast to know how many moves you got, what you got, etc. She thought she had time. She had time.
Yeah, that was. I'm sorry. That would have.
Because I saw her. As soon as she got the ball, her first look was there, and it's like I don't know if it didn't register or what, but good for us because Kylie was beat. Okay.
I would have been irate if I was her coach for blowing that.
Yeah, she should have just pulled up, personally speaking. But
yeah, exactly.
She figured she could, downhill, she'd have an easy bucket, but you ain't have enough time for all that.
The Iowa Hawkeye men will play at Indiana Saturday, 1 p.m. Central Time on Fox. And then the Iowa Hawkeye women will play this coming Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time against the Michigan State Spartans on BTN, that game back in Carver-Hawkeye Arena, top 15 matchup on Sunday.
8 o'clock on a Sunday? Jesus.
7 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
I know. Thank you. All right, folks, join the Discord. Please hit the like before you leave. Discord's very cheap, $5 a month, $50 for a year. You can also sponsor the show. Email me info@fromthehawkeyeofthestorm.com.
That game is on Peacock too.
What about Peacock?
That game is on Peacock at 8 o'clock on Sunday.
No, it's on Big Ten.
Okay, well I guess
there's a couple games coming up that are on Peacock.
That's acceptable.
Yeah. As Teal says, on Iowa, go Hawks. For Kachine Alexander, I'm Corey Bratta. Have a great night, folks. The audio of this show will be uploaded here shortly. We'll talk to you soon.